Puberty. Growing up. Big changes. It can be fascinating and exciting, and sometimes a little confusing and embarrassing. There are extraordinary changes that happen to girls between childhood and adulthood, and it's good to know about these changes before they happen. You might have noticed that some of your friends still look like kids, and others are starting to look more like adults. No two people are exactly alike. Every girl starts and goes through puberty on her body's own schedule. So, you have questions. Your body is changing, and it's good to know the reasons why. Some of the answers are simple, and some are more complicated, but you never know unless you ask.
Well, for starters, when does puberty start?
Puberty for girls can begin at any time between the ages of 8 and 16, and it usually starts a little earlier for girls than for boys. During this time, your height and weight will increase, and you'll start to look like a young woman. Your breasts will begin to develop and may become more sensitive. Your hips will begin to round out as the bones of your pelvis widen.
How does your body know when to start puberty?
Many different glands provide a variety of substances our bodies need to function. There are oil glands and sweat glands. Other glands produce chemicals called hormones that are carried in the bloodstream to different organs in the body. Hormones are what cause the many changes that happen during puberty. One of the most influential glands is the pituitary gland, which is located at the base of your brain. It helps control many body processes, including growth and development. The pituitary produces hormones that stimulate the reproductive glands. In girls, the reproductive glands are the ovaries. The ovaries are located one on either side of the uterus, inside the pelvic region. The ovaries, in turn, produce the hormones estrogen and progesterone, which regulate the menstrual cycle.
I've started to gain some weight. Should I be worried?
You're meant to put on weight during puberty because your body is growing. As long as you eat healthy and stay active, you shouldn't need to worry about your weight. But as you've probably heard, obesity and being overweight is a growing problem for many young people. You're likely to put on more weight than your body needs only if you eat too many fatty and sugary foods and don't get enough exercise. Eating a variety of foods that are good for you and being physically active can make all people feel better, and that's especially true for young people. Eating a nutritious diet helps you feel energized and keeps your body functioning and healthy. Television, movies, video games, we seem to be staring at screens everywhere we go. It's very important to schedule time for physical activity. Sports, outdoor games, dancing, jogging, even just taking a walk. Making sure that physical activity is part of your day will help your body stay in shape and keep a healthy weight. You'll have some fun and stay healthy too. And you'll form good habits to last your whole life.
Wow, all that exercise makes me thirsty.
If you're thirsty, drink water. You hear a lot of advertisements for sports drinks, and they can be helpful if you've been strenuously exercising. Fruit juice may sound healthy, but it has lots of calories. And soda pop is bad for your teeth and bad for your bones. Water is always the best choice.
Sometimes, lots of times, I get really sleepy during the day.
The right amount of sleep is essential for success in school, sports, and life. Most teens need about 8.5 to more than 9 hours of sleep each night. Unfortunately, though, many don't get enough sleep. Here are some tips to help you get the rest you need. Set a regular bedtime. Going to bed at the same time each night signals to your body that it's time to sleep. Waking up at the same time every day can also help establish healthy sleep patterns. Exercise regularly, but not too close to bedtime. Exercising in late afternoon can help you get a good night's sleep. Don't nap too much. Naps of more than 30 minutes during the day may keep you from falling asleep later. Avoid stimulants. Don't drink beverages with caffeine, such as soda and coffee. Relax your mind. Avoid scary or violent movies, TV shows, or books right before bedtime.
Can girls' voices change during puberty?
Although boys experience more dramatic voice changes, sometimes their voices will crack noticeably. Girls' voices also become richer and fuller. This is caused by a change in the vocal cords as your body grows.
My friends all shave their legs, but I don't really want to. What should I do?
New hair growth is a normal part of puberty. As girls become teens, they grow new hair in the pubic area, under the arms, and on the legs. Some girls shave their legs and armpits for cosmetic reasons. But before trying this yourself, you should check with your mother or another trusted adult. And remember, don't ever share razors, as that can spread disease.
Do you have any advice about pimples? Why do we even get them?
Most adolescents will experience outbreaks of pimples and blackheads, often on the face, and sometimes on the shoulders and chest. Your skin contains glands that produce oil to keep it healthy. During puberty, those oil glands increase their activity and produce more oil, which can become trapped in a pore, causing a pimple or a blackhead to erupt. Skin breakouts may follow the pattern of your menstrual cycle. You can help control pimples, blackheads, and acne by keeping your skin clean. Be gentle. Overwashing or scrubbing too hard can irritate your skin and dry it out, which only makes the condition worse. You may want to ask your parents or your doctor to recommend the best cleanser for you. Taking care not to touch pimples will also help.
What about sweating? Are girls even supposed to sweat?
The purpose of sweat, perspiration, is to help cool your body. During puberty, another kind of sweat gland becomes active and can cause you to sweat more. Be sure to bathe daily and wear clean clothes and underwear. Many girls begin using underarm deodorant or antiperspirant at this time to combat body odor.
My sister tried to explain the menstrual cycle to me, but I just didn't get it. All those different organs and hormones, it just seems so complicated.
The female reproductive system is complicated, but it's also truly amazing. Inside the ovaries are the female sex cells, called ova, or egg cells. You were born with every egg cell you will ever have. About once a month, one of the ovaries releases a mature egg cell. This process is called ovulation and begins during puberty. After it's released, the egg travels through the connecting fallopian tube and into the uterus. When boys reach puberty, their bodies begin to produce sex cells called sperm. The female egg cell can barely be seen with the human eye, but it is still thousands of times bigger than a sperm. Each sex cell, the sperm or ovum, is exactly half of what is required to create a new human life.
Why is my body going through all these changes?
Although not every woman will choose to become a mother, every woman's body is designed to help create children, which is what the process of reproduction is all about. When a man's sperm and a woman's egg join inside the woman's reproductive system, they produce a fertilized egg, which can develop and grow into a baby. It's important to remember that being physically able to create a baby does not mean that a person is ready for the responsibility of becoming a parent. Being a parent requires a lot of maturity, serious financial obligation, and a whole lifetime of commitment.
What are all the different parts of the reproductive system, and what does each part do?
A female's internal reproductive organs are located within the pelvis and include the uterus, the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, and the vagina. The uterus is shaped a little like an upside-down pear and is about the size of your fist. The uterus contains some of the strongest muscles in the female body. These muscles will expand and contract to make way for a growing fetus during pregnancy, and then later help push the baby out. At the upper corners of the uterus, the fallopian tubes connect the uterus to the ovaries. The lower portion of the uterus is called the cervix. The cervix connects to the vagina, the short muscular tube that leads to the outside of the body. The external part of the female reproductive organs is called the vulva, which means covering. Not part of the reproductive system, but also covered by the vulva, is the urethra, the tube that joins the bladder to the outside of the body. The urethra allows urine to pass out of the body. Here's how the female reproductive system usually works. If, on the way through the fallopian tube, a sperm cell joins the egg cell, it becomes fertilized. During the month, the uterus has built up a lining of soft tissue and blood for the protection and nourishment of the fertilized egg as it grows into a baby. If the egg is fertilized, it will usually attach itself to the wall of the uterus and begin the growth process. But if the egg cell is not fertilized, it will continue on through the uterus and eventually out through the vagina, along with the blood and the lining from the wall of the uterus. This discharge is called the menstrual flow, or a period. It can take a while for your menstrual cycle to become regular, but eventually you can expect to menstruate about once every month for between 3 to 7 days. Normally, a woman doesn't ovulate during pregnancy, so she won't have any periods during that time. Otherwise, a woman can expect to ovulate from adolescence until the time called menopause, which is usually around age 50.
Which is better to use, pads or tampons?
During a period, the flow of blood can be absorbed by pads, which attach to the inside of underwear, usually with a sticky strip. There are many different kinds of pads. Tampons can also be used. Instead of being worn on the outside, a tampon is inserted into the vagina. You should talk to your mom or another adult woman, such as your school nurse, to help you decide whether tampons or pads are best for you. Change your pad or tampon at least once every 4 hours. Feminine hygiene products should never be flushed down toilets. You can wrap the used ones in toilet paper to throw in the trash, or use the bins that are often provided in restrooms. Keep up your personal hygiene and bathe or shower daily.
What is PMS?
Some women experience premenstrual syndrome, PMS, around the time of their periods. PMS refers to the symptoms that some girls and women experience 1 to 14 days before their period. These symptoms are caused by changing hormone levels and may include headaches, food cravings, moodiness, breast tenderness, general tiredness, and weight gain or a bloated feeling like your clothes won't fit. Skin blemishes may also flare up. Some women don't have any of these symptoms, while others have all of them. Here are a few things you can do to help relieve PMS. Exercise regularly. Limit drinking caffeinated drinks like colas. Avoid salt. Ask your doctor for remedies. Check with a trusted adult to see if you can take an over-the-counter medication.
I'm 14 and I still haven't had a period. Do you think there's something wrong with me?
Waiting for your first period can be both exciting and worrisome. Try to remember every girl is different, and there's a wide range of normal development during puberty. Learning about the changes that are taking place and taking good care of yourself are positive ways to help with some of the worry. You can also talk to your doctor when you go for a checkup. By looking at how much you've developed so far, your doctor will be able to give you a rough estimate of when to expect your first period. It could be arriving in the next 6 months, or it could be a year or more away. For girls who have just started getting periods, their cycles aren't always regular. It would be a good idea to keep pads or tampons in your purse, backpack, or locker at school. It's unlikely that your first period will be very heavy. If it happens while you're at school, you may want to visit the school nurse or counselor for help. Most girls and women have few problems with menstruation. Others may have symptoms that include mood swings, irritability, cramps, or headaches. If you're having severe symptoms, you should let a parent know. Normally, though, your period shouldn't prevent you from enjoying your usual activities. In fact, regular exercise can often help you feel better. If you wear pads, you can still participate in most sports, and with tampons, you're even free to go swimming.
Most of my friends have already started to develop, but I still look the same. How can I speed things up?
Some girls get frustrated that they're not growing as fast as their friends, but there aren't any magic formulas or special exercises to hurry things along. Lots of people wish they could change the way they look, even adults. But learning what you can and can't change about your body is part of growing up too. When people accept the way they look, they often feel happier. Some kids feel awkward because they've started growing ahead of everyone else. But sooner or later, things will even out.
My friends talk about boys a lot, and lately they just want to hang out and try to meet boys. I feel embarrassed and pressured. What should I do?
Becoming more interested in boys is a common part of adolescence. But remember, each person is different, and every girl develops at her own pace, both physically and emotionally. Peer pressure. Pressure to do what your friends are doing can happen a lot during this stage of life, and most people don't like to feel excluded. Being different or making different choices from the rest of a group can be a very brave thing to do. Peer pressure is the influence someone uses